Hey folks, Valentin the Mad here, and today we'll be looking at notable games in terms of character response mechanics of 2022. So, this year, I can't in good conscience make an all caps clickbait title, however, there still are interesting releases that are very much worth talking about, so let's get right into it. The one that comes to mind immediately is Warhammer Darktide. As in previous Fetchwork Warhammer games, we have satisfying Dismemberment, and solid animation responses. But what really makes it stand out is the new multiplayer damage. This was a very pleasant surprise and it works really well, especially for a game that is focused on hordes coming at you. In addition, we have Dismemberment and the multiplayer damage activated for most special enemies, which also wasn't a thing in the Darktide games. Another one would be Aftermath that you can now configure in the menu and push things further in the INI file. Also, wasn't built in the previous games. However, we do have issues with the blood spilling, with inconsistency in staining, fountains going into nowhere, and oddities when stains pile up. Next up is Dying Light 2. So what we have there is really satisfying Dismemberment, very nice animations functionality, combat feels good and weighty, changes of behavior for lost limbs, you have really cool finishers, and there are nice features in the blood spilling aspect, such as consistent staining for the initial response, blood pools, and puddles below severed extremities. The main issues would be a lack of response at the point of impact for non-dismembering hits, you have only the generic overlay, and you have splashing effects that are just all over the place and those are wildly disproportionate to the actual staining. As I mentioned, the staining itself is by no means bad, but you still will see lots of blood pour right through the ground, which I think is unfortunate. Next up is the Callisto Protocol. What it essentially has is a focus on every single aspect of the character responses. Dismemberment, impact wounds, stains for the hits, blood pools, and what it does exceptionally well is the animations. Nice and weighty responses for the initial hits, changes of behavior for limb removal, nice finishers for the player character, and exceptionally cool death animations. The main issues are the generic splitter. It does get revealed in a more sophisticated way than, let's say, Dying Light, but that still is a generic overlay, and you can very much tell the difference when a blood is specific to the wound or the dismembering hit, or when you just get a partial reveal of an overlay. And I do think that the blood spilling could have delivered a stronger effect with better stains for the ground. Now, this one is still work in progress, but Ready or Not has gotten a major update for the character response side of it. The main overhaul there is of the wound mechanics. From the very laggy, very simple wounds we had initially, we now have glorious wound functionality of a hole and blood splatter that appear on the initial hit, soakage that very slowly happens over time. In this case, it could get even more soaked, but I accidentally shot the test subject, and his arm was removed, not by me. The latter is possible with the Dismemberment mod. And lastly, deformation on flash hits. So, great functionality that delivers just amazing response. On the animation side we also have improvements as well, with a basic disabled state and death animations. Also, very much of a step up from what we had. And as I mentioned, they're not done yet, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what more they'll add. So, that is the list of notable releases in terms of gore. Some really cool features there, but also a fair bit of issues. Do let me know what you think about it, what your favorite games in the subject have been, and what you are looking forward to in the next year. Here to a responsive 2023.